Hi, boys and girls. Next week, we're going to begin our unit on Native Americans of Virginia. And I just wanted to introduce this to you so you'll know what we're going to be learning about. Christopher Columbus called the people he found in the lands he explored Indians because he thought he was in the Indies near China. American Indians have always been closely connected to the land. They did not believe in land ownership. We know Native Americans lived all over Virginia because of artifacts or evidence that they have left behind. If you look in the pictures below, there's a picture of pottery and of arrowheads and other tools that they would have used for weapons or tools. Archaeologist. An archaeologist studies material evidence left from the past. Here's a dig site where they've actually dug up artifacts. Artifacts such as arrowheads, pottery, and other tools tell a lot about the people who lived in Virginia. Here are some archaeologists hard at work, and there's their dig site, and they're able to tell how they lived, maybe what they ate, what they used for tools, and who they may have traded or interacted with. There were many groups of Native Americans that lived in Virginia. Each of these groups spoke a different language. These are their language groups. This is different from their tribes. So there are three main language groups you need to know: Algonquin, Siouan, and Iroquoian. The Algonquin language was spoken in the coastal plain Tidewater region, and the Powhatan were part of that language group. The Siouan was spoken in the Piedmont region, and the Monacan tribe spoke Siouan. And then you have Iroquoian that was spoken in southwest and southern Virginia near the North Carolina border, and the Cherokee spoke this language. So we have language groups and tribes. The languages are Algonquin, Siouan, and Iroquoian. The tribes are Powhatan, Monacan, and Cherokee. A phrase to help you is apple pie, spaghetti and meatballs, and ice cream. Miss Bells also likes to teach you, please ask me some cool information. So here are your language groups. Iroquoian was spoken in southwest and southern Virginia, and the Cherokee spoke that. Remember, ice cream. Piedmont, where the Siouan language was spoken, the Monacan spoke that, so spaghetti and meatballs. And then the coastal plain Tidewater, you had the Algonquin language, and the Powhatan spoke that, so apple pie. Why did Native Americans live in Virginia? Well, the climate of Virginia is relatively mild, so it doesn't get too hot or too cold. And there are 4 distinct seasons that allow for a variety of vegetation. That's just a big word for lots of plants. Forests with a variety of trees cover most of Virginia's land, and there are many natural resources in Virginia. The food, shelter, and clothing for Virginia's Native Americans depended on their environment. So their shelters were made from resources they could find around them, like trees and brush. Their clothing was made from animal skins, like deer skin, and their food depended on the different seasons. So in winter, they would hunt birds and small animals and ate food stored from the fall. Spring, they would hunt, fish, and pick berries. In summertime, they would grow crops like corn, beans, and squash. We call those the Three Sisters. And in the fall, which is this time of year, they harvested those crops and they hunted food to store for the winter. So there are 2 Native American reservations in Virginia right now. They're near the York River. However, people with Native American ancestry live on all parts of Virginia today. Virginia Native Americans maintain their vibrant culture heritage through drumming, singing, dance, art, jewelry, clothing, crafts, pottery, and storytelling. Sometimes they call those a powwow. So the tribes maintain tribal museums and land on which they hold those public festivals called powwows. And the powwow is a way of teaching American Indians and visitors about the American Indians' culture, past and the present. Most of Virginia's Indians live like you and I do. They vote, they hold public office, they play video games, and they live like you and I. And where Wacomico was a large Indian village used as the Powhatan headquarters. It was located near the York River and used by Indian leaders for hundreds of years before the English settlers arrived. Jamestown was the first permanent English settlement in North America. They have found artifacts at both of these sites which tell that they interacted and traded with each other. So the English and the Indians had a trading relationship. And that's going to be the end of our introduction. I'm excited to learn about the Indians with you.